The fact is that through the 1980s and 90s, the world's view of the British monarchy was coloured by the affair between Charles and Camilla and the way in which that had broken up what seemed to be the dream marriage that had started off the 1980s.
But Diana, too, retaliated.
Do you think Mrs. Parker Bowles was a factor in the breakdown of your marriage?
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
Diana, in her infamous Panorama interview, questioned Charles's fitness to be king, whether he was up to the job. It was the darkest of times for Charles and for the monarchy. It was a very dark time for Camilla. She was public enemy #1. Vitriol that she received as the 3rd woman in Charles and Diana's marriage was extraordinarily strong. She was hated.
I, Diana Frances,
Hi, Diana Frances.
take thee, Charles Philip Arthur George,
Take thee, Philip Charles Arthur George,
to my wedded husband,
to my wedded husband,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
from this day forward,
this day forward,
till death us do part.
till death us do part.
It's worth remembering that there was fault on both sides during the breakdown of that marriage. However sad, these were fundamentally 2 people who were not very well suited, and perhaps that marriage might have ended in failure regardless of Camilla.
Royals are not perfect people. They should not be seen as perfect people. I think we should look at them as human beings who've made mistakes. And that actually is a new dimension that Charles can bring to the monarchy. He is a flawed man.
Charles and Diana officially divorced in 1996. "12 months later, the world would be rocked by the news of Diana's death. For her young sons, William and Harry, life would never be the same.
At the funeral, of course, we saw him walking side by side, united in grief with his 2 sons. I think the public saw a real different side to Charles then. It was still a man in mourning, not only for his ex-wife, who he had such a tumultuous time with, but really in grief for his 2 sons, who were completely wrought with devastation.